Many years ago, I went to jail, I went to prison for something I did many years before. The thing was, right before I went to jail, I decided to become a monk, to renounce all this material difficulties, suffering and enjoyment. I wanted to dedicate myself for something higher, for a purpose in life, to give back something I myself received. But then I entered the jail, and because of the association, the environment, it was very difficult for me to practice properly. I tried my best. It was only a short visit of 3 months, but in these 3 months, I started again smoking weed, smoking cigarettes. I had also a television in my prison cell. I had a work, I could clean the whole prison the whole day. So I was very engaged. And I remember the last day before I was released, the day before I wanted to become a monk, I had doubts. I thought, actually I have a nice life. I have some weed to smoke. I have some money, some income. I can buy some chips, some chocolate. I have a television, I have a job. Actually, it's very nice in the prison. And something inside of me was afraid. Because tomorrow I wanted to become a monk. I wanted to renounce these material pleasures, so-called pleasures. The illusion was so strong. The identification with my body and with my identity, with my character, was so present that I hold it on. And for a moment I felt like, I'm happy in the prison. Why should I become a monk? Let me tell you, we are all in the prison right now. But some can see the cage and some they don't. We're holding on so many things. I myself, I was in prison. I saw it, how attached I am to my life. But we are all in the same prison. But some are inside and some of us, they're outside. But doesn't matter, it's the same prison of birth, death, old age and disease. Materialist or spiritualist? Which one are you? Hello my friends, welcome back to Atmaflow. What is a materialist and what is a spiritualist? Usually we think material people are people who only think about the money, about wealth, having a nice car, having a good job, going on holidays the whole time, enjoying this material world to the fullest. And spiritualist, we might think, are people who meditate a lot, who do yoga, who speak about karma, reincarnation. They are more equipoised and calm, peaceful people. Then we say, oh, he is very spiritual. And this guy, he's all about drugs, sex and rock and roll. No, he must be material. But the truth is, as long as we want to enjoy in this world, we are materialists. Even though we practice spirituality, meditation, yoga, breathwork, praying, serving God, as long as we have the tendency to enjoy in this world, we are also materialists. And actually, there's nothing material. Everything is Brahman, as described in the Vedas. Everything has the same spiritual source. But our misunderstanding that we separate us from the spiritual identity, that we think of I and mine, because we identify with this body, we separate us from our spiritual reality. Suffering only starts when we identify with this body. In the Vedas, there's a very nice example talking about the soul, the body, the mind, the senses. And it is described, there's a chariot with horses. The horses represent the 5 senses. The strings where you hold the horses, this is the mind, the connection between the senses. Then we have the driver, the charioteer. He represents the intelligence. Then we have the chariot itself, our body, and the one who sits in the chariot, the spiritual being, the soul. So the soul gives instruction to the charioteer. Then he directs the horses through the mind and tells them in which direction we go. So the soul is the highest. the soul is in charge of the mind, of the intelligence, of the body, of the senses. But in our conditional state, everything is upside down. We see something beautiful, we hear something wonderful, we smell something very nice, and immediately we want to enjoy. And the mind, raga, dvesha, attachment and detachment. Yes or no, that's the duty of the mind. And if the intelligence is bewildered, like in our state, then we can't control the mind, we can't control the senses. We always follow the dictate of the senses and of the mind. But if you learn to get a spiritual intelligence, to understand the true nature of the self, of this material creation, of the spiritual world, then you can differentiate, you can choose, you can control your decisions. Otherwise, we're just driven by material sense pleasures. There are three different energies, Shaktis. Bahiranga Shakti, this is the external energy of the Lord. Antaranga Shakti, the internal pleasure potency of the Lord. And then there's Tatashta Shakti. Tatashta means marginal. The soul, it is said, is the marginal energy of the Lord, of God. Because we can always, with our free will, decide between matter and spirit. The whole creation, this whole manifestation is only there because we have the desire to enjoy. All our suffering, all our happiness is only there because we choose to engage with matter. And if you start your spiritual process, your spiritual practice, sadhana, then you're still in the prison, but with one foot, you're already outside of the prison. And because of our attachments, we can't let go. The window to the spiritual world is open for us, but we're holding on so many packages. It's like climbing up a mountain with a big backpack with hundreds of kilos, and you can't manage it to the top because your package is so heavy. It's the same. We want to live a spiritual, a godly life, but then we have so many things we hold onto. The same when I was in prison. I somehow couldn't let go of these material pleasures, even though I know tomorrow I will start a new life, a new path in my spiritual journey. But as long as our mind, our senses are so contaminated, we can't uplift ourselves to the Brahma Bhuta platform. Brahma Bhuta Prasad Atma Na Shoti Na Kankshati. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, one who is on the transcendental platform, on the Brahma Bhuta platform, he never desires, he never hankers for anything, and he never laments. This is the sign that you're spiritual advanced, that you have no desires anymore to enjoy this material world. And even though you engage in this world, you're completely detached from its various pleasures. And on this platform, you will be a friend of all living entities. You will have no enemies. Everyone will like you, and you will like everyone. It is a very high goal, destination, but we can't swim in the water without getting wet. As long as we are conditioned, we will have so many impressions from the outside, so many old habits and attachments popping up the whole time. But these are our tests. Every time when we face a challenge in life, maybe some habit, maybe it's smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, or playing some video games, or overeating, whatever it is for you, when this challenge comes, any challenge in life is made for us that we can overcome it. There's nothing you can't overcome, not even your own mind. So we have to really endeavor, when we see the challenge, embrace it, take it as an opportunity to grow. And now you maybe not see it, but if you face your fears, if you face your challenge in life, you will come out more strong, more blissful, more happy, more self-controlled, and you will be on the path towards your spiritual identity. And it doesn't matter who you are, with whom you are associating, or what is your profession. It only matters your decision, your consciousness, the determination and the enthusiasm to know the goal, to break the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease, the cycle of suffering, and embrace your eternal spiritual identity full of knowledge and bliss, and find yourself on the Brahma Buddha platform. Thank you. Namaste.